Hi everyone, we've got a slightly different setup today, but I'm joined today by Jane Todd from Nursery Business Support, and we're chatting today about occupancy. And I think, as a consultant, Jane, this is something you come up against again and again, isn't it? Because people
Yeah,
don't always
very
know how to
frequently.
do it. Oh yeah. Okay. So what sort of things do you kind of see in practice, and how do you find people struggle with this?
Well, a couple of things there, really, depending on the purpose why they come to see me. Sometimes, which you'll find as well, when they're coming to get ready for sale and they say, I'm 80% full, and actually, I'm just helping them get ready for sale. And we start unpicking and discover that actually what they're calculating as their occupancy isn't actually true, or what we call full-time equivalent
Mm,
occupancy, which will be what will be expected by yourselves for selling
yeah.
versus what a buyer would be looking for. And then there's also that when it comes up where owners come to me and say, I don't understand, I'm full, but I'm not making a
Making any
profit.
money.
And then we look into it and say, well, what do we mean by full? Because we feel very busy and our days are busy. And when we unpick it, it can often be about how a setting offers their model, really,
Mm,
their sessions. So there was a setting that I worked with that had a lot of children doing, they were open 8 till 6, but the majority of their children did 9 till 3 term time only. And they're going, we're
right.
full, we can't take any more children, but I'm not breaking even because there are a lot of children just going for their 9 till 3. So over the week, they were doing 30 hours, weren't doing extra bits, at the beginning
No.
and end, and then only term time only. So actually, when we worked out for those children in that setting, though each child was only 48% of a full-time place, even though
Wow.
to the
Okay.
owner, they've got a child take up a full-time place. So, which was why to the owner, we feel full on a day-to-day basis. I can't take children, but actually, they weren't full in terms of an occupancy because they weren't calculating the occupancy in terms of the hours they open and the hours they were taking
Yeah.
money for. They were calculating in terms of, can I take another child on a Wednesday? No, because I've got little Harry in 9 till 3, so I can't have someone 8 till 6. So it's that different way of how you do occupancy,
Looking at
almost for
it.
day to day
Yeah.
manage. You need to know, can I take a child on this day? Yes, no, is one way of
Mm,
doing it, which was a lot of settings are doing. But it's also known that they say if you come to sell, that obviously that figure isn't your true full-time
yeah.
equivalent occupancy. So it might be that people are calculating both, but they need to be consistent with both, or at least understand what they're doing and why.
And for those people who you kind of sat and unpicked it and gone, oh, sorry, actually, you're not 80%, you're 48%. What's like your top tip for first steps to kind of getting this corrected?
Well, this is the hard one because it depends how much an owner wants to unpick their actual business model, because then it often starts questions where they hadn't realised actually what it meant financially.
Yeah.
And it is often only by unpicking the occupancy that I'm almost a busy fool analogy, the whole thing of we're really busy every day, but we're working to not take anything. And then actually once they worked out, we looked at for them if it was the right thing, changing to 8 to 6 days or, all year round, etc. They've got capacity to take more children and therefore be more profitable, etc. But some of them, they're not in a position to do that. But at least
Yeah.
they knew and had, it's that knowing your whys and your understanding. If you understand your occupancy and why, it's
Mm.
that knowledge is power. If it's you thinking, oh, but I'm full, but you
Well,
don't know what that means and what it's equating to, it informs your decision making. So if a setting wants to continue with a 9 till 3 term time only model, they have to look at, can I afford this model? Now, if
yeah,
they can, or it's the right for their demographic, that's fine, as long as it's that informed decision, not kind of a, oh, but we felt
I'm
full, we
doing
felt
doing great.
busy.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's that sort of
absolutely.
whole thing of good old knowing your numbers, but knowing why you're doing it and why you're
Yeah.
calculating it in a certain way, and what the purpose of those numbers is for.
Mm. That's it. It's a difference between operational numbers and financial numbers and how they relate to each other.
Absolutely,
And if you can
absolutely,
keep that model, if you want to keep that model, it may be actually you're looking at your staffing and managing it that way to make sure it's making a profit. So there's so much
absolutely.
you can do with it, but you have to start to understand those numbers first.
Yes. How are you calculating it and why are you calculating it in that way? And there might be times you need to calculate it in a different way.
Well, I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below and we'll see you again next time.